What's up, everyone? What's up? Welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, I go by Zombie. I'm very passionate about spirituality, specifically astrology. And one of my main goals with this channel is just to be able to show people how self-improvement and spirituality really go hand in hand. And so if you're interested in any of that or possibly becoming a better version of yourself, go ahead and hit that subscribe button for me. And without further ado, let's hop right in. So I'm going to leave a link down below so that, you can create your own birth chart on the website it takes you to, and you can look up your own information. However, in this series, I'm just going to be running through the placements that you would find and what that kind of would basically mean for you. So this video is about your Saturn sign. In astrology, Saturn is known as the taskmaster or father time. It's definitely associated with wisdom and the things you learn over time, through your experiences. If you think about Jupiter and the ninth house being your experiences, Saturn, that basically evolves to, the wisdom and learning from these experiences and challenges. And so because of that, it is also the planet of discipline and responsibility. Just Capricorns, right, in general, a Capricorn individual, and Aquarius too, because Saturn rules both signs, they're usually faced with a lot of, obstacles, a lot of challenges, things that maybe like you might not even know if you know them, whether that be, something personal within them or just physical, although I will say more often than not, it definitely is, something more so on the outside of them, like having to, be more of a parental figure, maybe a guardian in a home type shit. Like, let's say you've got younger siblings, right? That might be one of your main responsibilities, right? Or you might be the person that's kind of looked to like, hey, watch them, blah, 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 blah. I find that's kind of a common theme, with Saturn energy, Capricorn energy. Definitely, just some form of responsibility, even from a young age. Like I said, even if whether it's watching siblings or anything like that, just always having like that sense of responsibility, right? And so your Saturn placement shows you the challenges or limitations that you may experience in life. Again, let's just start throwing some examples out there. Let's say you have your Saturn in Taurus. Taurus, even though it's an earth sign, right? And naturally, Capricorn is an earth sign as well. So Saturn being there, isn't the most uncomfortable place because, that energy of discipline, that energy of perseverance can definitely be very positively expressed, in earth signs, especially Taurus. But, if you think about how the energy of Taurus and being ruled by Venus is also heavily related to money and finances, financial security, right? Having Saturn in Taurus could definitely mean that early on, because again, when you think Saturn, think time, right? Saturn's like fine wine, right? This shit curates right over time. It takes time to get this shit right, It takes responsibility, it takes perseverance, it takes commitment. And so that's, a part of life, right? But zooming back in, slowing back down, staying on topic. Your Saturn placement has a lot to do with limitations. So let's just say, like I said, you had it in Taurus or something growing up, right? Or for a long time, right? It might have been harder for you to find financial security, or, your parents might not have had that much money. But again, you learn from these things, right? And over time, you learn how to be more responsible with your money, or, more responsible with anything, or overcome, any limitation, right? Whatever sign it's in, however that energy is represented, over time, you figure these things out and you become, it's easier for you to manage, basically, is what I'm trying to say. And so Saturn is also associated with commitment, your reputation, and career path. Now, again, I already touched on commitment. It takes that to overcome these challenges, especially when it's something you really care about, whatever that is. But I say your reputation as well, because Saturn, falls within the 10th house in astrology. I'm gonna do a separate I'm gonna do a separate series on houses, of course. My bad. Yeah. But Saturn relates to the 10th house. My bad. I had to get right just now. It relates to the 10th house and your reputation, right? So the 10th house basically think public image. think career path like I have, right here, let's just say you had Venus, right, in your 10th house. Venus being heavily related to the arts, could mean as a career you might be, an artist, or maybe even like in a culinary sense, right? Because you have culinary arts as well, cooking, preparing foods, art to that as well. So maybe even like a chef or something like that, right? But that's just how you look at the energy. If you had Aries, right, in your 10th house, you might be, your career wise, you definitely would probably have to play more so of a leadership role, but you might be an athlete, right? I feel like a lot of athletes definitely probably have Aries in their 10th house. A lot of like, people in the military also, but again, Saturn is associated with commitment, your reputation or your public image, right, which you're known for in a sense, and your career path, and all these things definitely go hand in hand. And it takes that discipline and commitment to reach that, to manifest these goals, right? So correlation wise, as I said before, you have limitations, right? Saturn is definitely more so. If Jupiter is the planet of expansion, right, expanding your mind, all these things, Saturn is the planet of restriction, of limitation, right? Saturn, people with a heavy Saturn energy, heavy 10th house energy, or maybe just Capricorns, right? Let's just use Capricorns for example, can sometimes have very limited viewpoints, can be very narrow-minded, very pessimistic sometimes, maybe very cynical. And you just have to learn to be more open, right? So wisdom, again, as I stated before, with the whole time aspect of it, and maturity and things needing to mature, over time you gain wisdom from your experiences. So that's also associated with, even if you think about older people, right? Older people always have some form of like wisdom about some shit. So also corresponds to Saturn, like that's where you're looking at when you observe that, right, in real life. And so commitment, again, also that sense of commitment, that sense of drive, right? um if you have Saturn in I would say if your Saturn's in a fire sign, right, it may be a little harder for you, right, to find that commitment, and not be so impulsive, right, like such as the nature of fire. But again, like nothing's impossible, and it's always how you look at it, because there's always a plus that comes with that too. Like even though having Saturn in Aries can make you kind of impulsive, right, at the same time it might make you more of a natural born leader, right, a natural born trailblazer. So there's always different ways you can look at these things. There's different ways you can channel the energy. It's just it always boils down to what you're focused on, right? How you wish to project this shit, So functionality wise, domain, Saturn is at home in Capricorn as well as Aquarius, right? That just means that the energy is most freely expressed, or yes, freely expressed in these signs. Saturn, I had a frog in my throat. My bad for that. But yeah, Saturn being in Capricorn and Aquarius definitely will be easier for that mature, disciplined, committed energy to function the way it's supposed to within you as a person, right? Within your life, right? Although with Saturn being at home, you could definitely have challenges and obstacles that you have to overcome, especially from a younger age. Most definitely, that might be one of the things you really notice, more about your life. And so detriment wise, if you think about the opposite signs of Capricorn and Aquarius, you have Cancer and Leo. Saturn is definitely weaker in these placements. I would say it's even more weak in Leo than Cancer, because Leo being such a self-absorbed, sign, it can kind of make it hard for Saturn to stay focused on like the bigger picture sometimes. And like I said before in my Jupiter video, when you get to the outer planets like Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, Neptune, they're all about the bigger picture, right? They're more so about the collective, even though it might not seem like that on the outside, right? But if you think about your career, right? What is your career? what is your career even, right? It's what you do in the world. It's how you give back, right? Even if you don't look at it like that, everyone has to give back in a way. That's why, and not to get too far off topic, but that's why astrology is really important to be able to understand, because it really gives you insight and opens your, like, your eyes to the fact that we're all connected, right? Like, we all, like, everyone's just literally playing their role. Like, it's not even more complicated than that. Like, I hate to make it seem like, everything's so black and white, whatever, because it's definitely not. But, at the same time, we're all just playing our role in this shit. Even right now, currently, I'm just playing my role in this shit. But moving right along, Saturn is exalted in Libra. The structured thinking of Saturn definitely can be expressed freely, within Libra. Libra's all about, fairness, all about justice, right? So Saturn is definitely comfortable in the sign of Libra. Again, Libra and Taurus are both ruled by Venus, and so I would definitely say there's a positive connection there between the two planets. The fall, it's definitely Aries. Again, Aries being definitely, there's nothing wrong with, focusing on yourself, right? In some cases, that's the best thing to do. But again, like I said, with the outer planets, their role is more so to tend to the collective, right, and play, a bigger role in that. And so with Saturn and Aries, there's definitely a conflicting energy between, you know that and that that purpose, right, of Saturn, and the energy that is Aries, and focusing on yourself and things of that nature. But again, it could be a positive, because over time you can definitely learn to unlock those leadership qualities within yourself. And when it's all said and done, that would be how you contribute to the collective. So it works out either way. But that was Saturn energy. And well, not even Saturn energy, but your Saturn energy, I guess, slash how your Saturn placement plays out within your own chart, within your own life. But like I said before, I'm gonna leave a link down below so you can start your own journey of self-discovery. Of course, it's always better to look into these things for yourself, get your own understanding, right? Especially when it comes to self-awareness, right? Because it is self-awareness. But that's it for this video. Until next time, I'm out.